Hello everybody and welcome back to F1 23 with me, Dan, and the Slothz team as we head over to Las Vegas now for the second brand new circuit on the calendar. I've only done this race once, and that was in a 1v1 a couple of weeks ago on stream, and that was during the day, which made this a little bit more difficult to try and suss out as we came here for career mode. But yeah, anyway, over to practice we go as we do our best to try and collect as many resource points as possible in time for the regulation changes. As a reminder, we've got all the aero upgrades and all of the power unit upgrades to try and cover. Of the two, to make things interesting, we're only doing aero, and we've got, I think, about 7 upgrades to try and cover. A couple in drag reduction, which don't matter too much, but the rest are all in front and rear downforce. And if there's anything I want when we come into Season 2, it's having a lot of cornering ability. Especially as we come to some of the circuits, which I don't necessarily like too much. A lot of them are more twisty-turny. Ones like Monaco, which I'm still debating about. We also have the Netherlands, that's another one. Singapore, Japan. I'd rather have cornering ability there and work on the straight line speed as we progress through the season. Anyway, we're almost finished here with practice, and we'll get to see which upgrades we cover off for next season. Also debating whether to install some mods as well, maybe do a custom livery. If I can figure it out, I will do it today. Not so much the mod side, but more the custom livery. I did find something that I may make a video on. Anyway, that's a couple of upgrades, and there's another one that we're going to pick up there as well. Now it's time for the race. So then, it's over to Las Vegas, and I must say, they've done a really good job here at modelling the city there. We've got the Las Vegas Hotel. We've got the Eiffel Tower, which was in fact stolen from the French. Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly have been sent here as part of a delegation to try and buy it back from the Americans, but from what I hear, the only way they can do that is if they win this race. So good luck to them. Don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell as well, so you know if the French are able to get the Eiffel Tower back. And we'll move on to the starting grid order for today's race and kick it off on the front row. It's looking good for the French. George Russell joined by Esteban Ocon once again, and look at the split time there in qualifying, just 0.02 of a second. Then Pierre Gasly and Sergio Perez, Max Verstappen and Jack Doohan, Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll, and rounding out the top 10 we have Alex Albon and Lewis Hamilton, Oscar Piastri and Carlos Sainz, Valtteri Bottas, Nico Hülkenberg, Lando Norris, Joe Guan Yu, Charles Leclerc, with a penalty, Kevin Magnussen, Nick De Vries, Logan Sargent, and on the back row we have Yuki Tsunoda, and I replaced my entire power unit, so I start at the back. Well, that was interesting, wasn't it? I bet you didn't expect to see 2 Alpines in the top 5. Pierre Gasly did get close at the last Grand Prix, but didn't quite get there. But Esteban Ocon, second race in a row, starting P2. Lots of other penalties up and down the field, though. Charles Leclerc starting quite far back, which doesn't help matters, as was Carlos Sainz. A few cars getting reliability issues here for the penultimate race of the season. So then, we are so far back out of view, you can just about see us through the cages on the right-hand side there. As we pull away and immediately battle with Yuki Tsunoda into turn 1, wishing our teammate good luck as we plough through turn 1 there, up the inside of the Williams and Logan Sargent. Nick De Vries dropping places as well. As we come through turn 2, Logan Sargent comes back at us there because the Williams is fairly quick. There goes Nick De Vries up the inside, trying to prove that AlphaTauri made a mistake by dropping him for Daniel Ricciardo. I wonder when we'll see Ricciardo back actually in this game. Down the inside, then late on the brakes, we managed to get past Logan Sargent into turn 3. Coming up to the many, many chicanes that they decided to install here in Las Vegas, all next to each other, kind of. Through the S as we go, and it is Jack Doohan up ahead, who's worked his way up into P4. And look at this, Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen are behind him. Perhaps he's helping the French here to get their Eiffel Tower back. As we go late on the brakes, go down the inside of Magnussen, keeping it just over the white line as we go over the curb and accelerate away. There's also the tower from Venice there. which has also been stolen, but there's no Italians in this Grand Prix who have come to steal it back, so they will have to leave it there for the time being. Anyone that's played Assassin's Creed will probably remember climbing that thing up, but that was a long time ago. Anyway, into this chicane here. One of the corners I struggle with at this circuit is trying to get the traction down here as we've got a yellow flag. Oh, this piece is behind us! Virtual safety car is out. Something has happened. There's a Haas going slow there towards the pit lane. Kevin Magnussen's out of the session, and that is a Williams caught up with him as well. This was Magnussen. There's us ahead, following on. I don't even know what... Did he hit the wall there? I'm not even sure. I think he might have just turned in and tried to correct himself. It's very badly. This is Logan Sargent. Blind. I mean, he didn't even try to avoid that. So he's going to be at the back as we resume racing once again. Down towards Charles Leclerc, who is still in P17, but doesn't have the ability to get past. Also, Esteban Ocon's leading this race. We go down the inside of Charles Leclerc, who's on the medium tyre, so he's going for a long run here. We don't get the position away from him, and we accelerate away down towards the end of the straight. What can we do here against the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc? We're maxing out the rev counter right now, but we are faster than Leclerc as we go to the left-hand side and get past the Ferrari. Into the braking zone we go. As we resume on lap 5. Looks at the mini-map, and it looks like both Alpines are winning the race, actually. Or they're leading, followed by Russell, then the two Red Bulls, and Doohan, who's all the way back in 6th now. Clearly suffering for the hands of the Red Bulls, who have the DRS advantage on him. As we close up on Joe, go to the inside, and now we follow Lando Norris, who, again, another car looking a little bit out of position here, all the way down in 15th. Through the S's, everyone bunching up quite rapidly here. I think there is someone up ahead on the hard tyre, which is causing everyone here who's on the soft to just close up, but no one can seem to get past him. But we rejoin on lap 6. We've had no luck so far getting past Norris as we try to find a way past. Can we do it on the brakes here before the straight? Yes, we do get alongside him, and we do get past as well. We've got the Haas on Nico Hulkenberg up ahead, who might be able to deploy DRS for us. Yeah, we do get it, and that should help us escape. Joe Guan Yu also looking to try and get past now. And he's going to battle away with the McLaren. There's Piastri getting past Bottas, or defending from Bottas, in the next group of cars that we've got to try and get past. Bottas still fighting. We're going to go on board now as we challenge Nico Hulkenberg. This is into the final corner. There's Lance Stroll. He was the one on the hard tyre. And we go flat through the final corner. We do cut the corner technically, but the FIA have only given us a warning. So that is a triple overtake there in F1 23 in Las Vegas, right in front of the pit lane. And now we get to follow Oscar Piastri, but it's quite a distance ahead of him to Carlos Sainz, as now we're under attack from Lance Stroll, who was very unamused at our overtake. But a quick deployment of the ERS has settled that battle pretty quickly. And we follow on with Piastri. Our only advantage up ahead is that Carlos Sainz is running the medium tyres, so he may be running a little slower than us through some of these corners, which will allow us to close up. But he will be getting DRS, so we're going to have to try and slingshot our way past Oscar Piastri and get a good run out of this next corner if we're to stand a chance at catching Sainz. We've got 3.2 seconds to make up there, which isn't ideal, and we do have pit stops coming up fairly shortly as well. Let's see what we can do here on Piastri as we run down the strip, and this should be no challenge whatsoever. We're not going to bother with the ERS because the DRS is giving us enough speed to deal with him pretty easily. Also, looking further ahead, we got Fernando Alonso. I'm guessing Hamilton, yeah. Carlos Sainz, and then Albon as well, all fighting away. This is Doohan fighting away. Esteban Ocon's still leading the race, but it looks as though George Russell and Pierre Gasly have been fighting so much that as Doohan has managed to pass the Red Bulls, he's closed up. And Esteban Ocon is nowhere to be seen. And now we've got this three-way battle for second. There's Ocon. Look how far ahead he is. There's now Jack Doohan. He's going to go to the right-hand side, and he gets past and gets into second place. This is the highest he's run on merit since he joined the team here. What a massive improvement for Jack Doohan, especially over Brazil, where he struggled dearly at that circuit. And behind us, we're now under attack from Lance Stroll and Oscar Piastri as we don't get the DRS for the cars ahead of us. We're going to get sandwiched here if we're not careful, but we somehow managed to slip it by as everyone kind of Constantine is up behind us and tries to fall into position. We're going to go into the pit lane. Albon comes in as well. Not sure who else is in the pit lane right now. Of course, Bottas is in, but looks like one of the Red Bulls did come in. That'll be Verstappen. And I'm not getting a good view. Oh, there's Alonso. There's Albon just finishing up now. And they've actually got the Golf livery for their pit lane gantries. Oh, and look at that. The safety car has just been deployed right in front of us as Charles Leclerc comes through on the hard tyre. Presumably has come in then, because I think he was on the medium earlier. This is what happened. Oh, it's Esteban Ocon from the lead. And he span out the rear. Oh, that's a smash to the rear wing. And he's lost his front wing as well. Esteban Ocon. It was the win was his. And he's left it wide open now. This is Jack Doohan, Pierre Gasly, George Russell, Sergio Perez. This is the battle for the lead right now. Perez is a little further out. But these guys are pitting under the safety car. They've had a massive advantage in pitting at this time. What can they do here now? As we come into the pit garage, into his box, Jack Doohan. He's putting the hard tyres on, and that will be the race over for him. He's thrown the race. He's somehow been beaten at the pit stop by George Russell, who's actually gone for the hard tyre as well, which is interesting. I didn't notice that when we did this race, but nevertheless, that's probably race over for all three of them now, actually, because I'm pretty sure everyone behind is on a faster tyre. Yeah, the Red Bulls are on medium, so's Alonso. Well, that's the race over for those three. So it looks like the Eiffel Tower will be staying in Las Vegas as we take a dive to the inside, having to get past half of these drivers once again. Up the inside of Magnussen already. And we continue on. Can we get past Stroll? Well, we're going to have to defend from Hulkenberg first before we even think about getting past Lance Stroll again. And Piastri. But if anything, it has reset us as we get used to the circuit here and try and learn the corners and the braking zones and the overtaking spots. Having the safety car to bunch everyone back up and reset the field is immensely beneficial to us. And I'm just looking down the order. I think actually Jack Doohan has already been overtaken by multiple cars, or maybe just the one car, but he is bunching up one of the Red Bulls behind him, which is not good to see. Jack Doohan potentially could have had a podium here if he'd gone to the soft tyre. Would the soft tyre have made it? I think quite possibly it would have, yes. But we rejoin on lap 13. Still chasing down Oscar Piastri. No, we're going to get DRS yet? I don't think so. It's not been enabled just yet, so we're going to have to do this with some battery deployment. And we are closing in on the McLaren. We are still the kings of straight line speed. Up ahead, we've got Hamilton going for a move on Albon. We've seen this go wrong before. Albon still hanging on, actually. Well done to Alex Albon there as we chase down Lance Stroll. And now we're going to go for the same move again up the inside at the final corner. Yes, we do get Stroll. And we're going to go for Hamilton, but Albon blocks us. We're going to have to go to the inside of the pair of them as we come into turn one. Hamilton goes down the outside of Alex Albon. Albon weaving all over the place to defend. He hits our wheel there as we try to slip by. Hamilton has lost out massively. He's now behind Stroll. And now we've got the DRS on Albon, and we're going to go absolutely blast him past the Williams, who is still hanging on to P8 now at this point. And up ahead, how the mighty have fallen. Jack Doohan, after beating us in qualifying and very solidly riding in a podium spot for the majority of this Grand Prix, is now trying to defend with all of his might against Carlos Sainz. And apparently has not done it. Driving down towards the DRS zone. If he's lucky, If he's lucky, he'll be able to get past again and try and hold up the Ferrari a little bit and help us get by. And since we're on the faster tyre at this point, I think it's pretty much a done deal that we'll have to pass him and try and challenge for the lead. Max Verstappen. Oh, no, Pierre Gasly now winning the race. So there is still a battle going on for P1. Gasly still holding his own there as we power down the main straight. We are under threat from Albon as we don't have the DRS. We're going to have to get him on the brakes. It doesn't work out there. Albon now back up into P7. We'll have to try and make the same move happen down the straights, or the first of the DRS straights. Through we go. Also, George Russell is running around at the back, so presumably picked up some damage after the restart, and that is his race over, which opens up more opportunity for us. As the other Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton is looking to find a way by, but we are just too fast in the straight line. And we defend it, not going past Albon yet, but that is intentional because we come down to the braking zone here. We've still got 3 laps to go, plus a little bit out extra. Down the strip we go. There's the tyre wear at the moment, not looking too bad. But our ERS is not looking too good, to be honest. 19% left already. And no issues there getting past Albon. Apparently hitting 20% was enough to bring up that tyre warning on the MFD. But we're through and back into P7. Up ahead we got Jack Doohan. Maybe what we can do here is try and salvage some points for him by bunching up the field behind us. Or we can just leave them behind. Where the hell is Lewis Hamilton gone? Interesting. So apparently Hamilton and Albon battled away so hard that they've disappeared into the background as we continue along on the final lap. Gasly and Verstappen still fight for the lead. But this is another battle to watch out for. So whoever is ahead at the Las Vegas Strip is not going to get this third place podium. And it's so far looking like Fernando Alonso is trying to throw the win here. Or throw the podium, I should say. As Sergio Perez tries his best to get past. But I don't think either of these two have really gotten the right idea here. You don't want to be ahead at the DRS detection zone. And that is what Alonso has done. Alonso will not get a podium here. But here's the race lead. Pierre Gasly also ahead at the DRS detection zone. But can he hold on? Is the Alpine straight line speed enough to beat the Red Bull as they come blasting past the Venice Tower? The Eiffel Tower approaching. Pierre Gasly wants to take it home to France. But can he do it? Verstappen to the outside. They're going to be fighting all the way down to the line here as Verstappen goes to the outside. Gasly has no advantage in the tyres whatsoever. But he has got a very fast car. But it looks as though Verstappen has got it ahead with just a corner to go. And as we rejoin the action, Jack Doohan now going up for the podium. Tries to get past Sergio Perez has become flying down, but he loses the rear somewhat there, and Perez will take away the podium from him, and we slot into P7. But we're going to make one last dive down the inside of Fernando Alonso, and we take away P6. P7 from him is P6. And that is the end of the inaugural Las Vegas Grand Prix. We went from the back, we finished 6th, getting driver of the day along the way. And a champion has been crowned. Max Verstappen wins the Drivers' Championship. That was what we were aiming to do. Well, not to make him win, but we were just aiming not to win ourselves. And as per usual, the same animation plays as we get at every single F1 game these days of just doing donuts, which will inevitably get him fined by the FIA and give Red Bull a disadvantage going into next season. But there we go. Constructors' Championship has been won by Red Bull as well. So double champions going into the final race will be just for glory, if anything. As Adrian Newey decides to blind his star driver with champagne, Sergio Perez does the same. And Pierre Gasly picks up a podium. Great job for Alpine. They've done incredibly well these past few races. And here are the race results. So Mr. Verstappen with the fastest lap, followed by Pierre Gasly and Sergio Perez. Then off of the podium, we have Jack Doohan, Carlos Sainz, Radiant Slothz, Fernando Alonso, Alex Albon, Lewis Hamilton, and Lance Stroll. Over to the Drivers' Championship, then Max Verstappen becomes the world champion, beating us out by 43 points with one race to go. We're followed by Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez, Charles Leclerc, George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon, and Lando Norris to round out the top 10. Further down the order, we have Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon, Yuki Tsunoda. Jack Doohan moves up to joint 14th with Valtteri Bottas. Then Lance Stroll, Oscar Piastri, Nico Hulkenberg, Joe Guan Yu, and Kevin Magnussen, followed by Nick De Vries and Logan Sargent. And over to the Constructors. There we go. Red Bull have won the Constructors over Ferrari, who are currently holding on to second. They're followed by Mercedes, Slothtech, Alpine, Aston Martin, McLaren, Williams, Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri, and finally Haas. And that's all for this race. We'll catch you next time for the season finale in Abu Dhabi.